Today we got two of the mightiest, yet kinda undersold heroes in the Marvel Universe going head to head. Hyperion versus Hercules. Who comes out on top? Well, let's find out.
Eyes up. Stay sharp. Stay down. Final warning. I could do this all day.
Hyperion is Marvel's first Superman copycat. He's most often associated with the superhero team known as the Squadron Supreme and was an Avenger at one point. Though he is one of many active versions across a myriad of alternate universes, Hyperion is still one of the mightiest superhumans in the Marvel multiverse. And just to clarify here, this is Earth 13034 Hyperion, who was on Earth 616 and who was a member of the Avengers at one point. Now, Hyperion is an Eternal with various superhuman powers, and he gets his powers from solar radiation. Hyperion possesses superhuman strength on par with Thor, Hulk, and Gladiator. He's actually been able to lift and throw Atlantis, slow it down a hurtling planet all by himself, and probably most impressively, stop the collision of two alternate planets by himself for a short period of time. He also produces incredible stamina as long as he's exposed to solar radiation, and he doesn't require food, air, water, or rest as long as he's exposed to the sun. Hyperion is almost completely invulnerable and is able to survive a powerful energy blast, attack some superhuman beings like Thor and Hulk, and he even survived an incursion, which is where two whole universes are destroyed by colliding into one another. He's able to fly at superhuman speeds, while he usually keeps it around Mach 4 while inside the atmosphere. He has been seen going faster than the speed of light, moving from Earth to outer space in just a few seconds. Finally, Hyperion can produce very intense beams of heat from his eyes that can reach to at least 12,000 degrees. This attack has been able to injure Thor and Hulk, incinerate Corvus Glaive, and even quickly decapitated Namor. So that's what we got in one corner, one of Marvel's many Supermen, Hyperion. But entering the other ring, straight out of ancient legend, the Prince of Power, Hercules. One of the 6 Olympian sons of Zeus, Hercules was born the savior of the gods and mankind. Known as the Prince of Power, Hercules is one of the strongest beings in existence, an Olympian god, and a modern superhero recognized throughout the world for his might. He's been a champion of mankind since ancient times, and continues to defend the world in the modern age, most frequently as a member of the Avengers. Hercules is the Olympian god of strength, and his main superpower is his incredible superhuman strength. Some of his greatest feats have been overpowering Wonder Man and Abomination, tossing a 60,000-ton Godzilla, holding New York City together, stopping a punch from Century Cold in the palm of his hand, and it's probable that he's even stronger than Thor. But Hercules' greatest feat of strength was way back in ancient times, when Hercules was still doing his 12 labors. He had to take the weight of the heavens from the Titan Atlas, and held it above his head for 3 solid hours, before he was able to trick Atlas to retake the burden. Now this is actually one of the most impressive feats in all of comics, because the weight of the heavens has been described as immeasurable and incalculable. He's incredibly durable, and has a greater level of resistance than any Olympian god except for Zeus. He's able to withstand the impact of high-caliber machine gun shells, anti-aircraft missiles, energy blasts from the Herald of Galactus and the man-god Korvac, and the cold vacuum of space. He's also withstood countless punches from Hulk and hits from Mjolnir. Hercules is Olympus' greatest warrior and champion. He's practiced and perfected his fighting skills for over 3 millennia, and is an expert in boxing, wrestling, joint locks, and submission holds. He even co-invented pancration, which is similar to modern mixed martial arts, but uses much more brutal and deadly techniques. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, for this fight, just to kind of counterbalance against Hyperion having speed, flight, and energy beam advantage, Hercules will be given his golden adamantine mace. This is his most prized possession, was forged by his brother Hephaestus out of pure adamantine, the unbreakable metal of gods. And Herc even said he believed it could shatter Thor's hammer Mjolnir if they clashed, although that was likely Hercules just talking some smack. So Herc's got his mace. That's what you need to know. Now let's get started. We've got to start here by taking a look at strength and seeing which one of these heroes has got more physical power. Now, even though Hyperion hasn't been around for long, definitely not anywhere close to Hercules' 50 plus years in Marvel Comics, he's definitely made a big impact. He's been able to trade blows with the Hulk himself, strongest here in the Marvel Universe. He's ripped off the High Evolutionary's arm, he's lifted up and thrown the city of Atlantis, and even flew straight through Terminus's head, which is capable of standing up to cosmic level impacts. But there are two things that Hyperion's done that puts him in the same conversation as people like Hulk, Thor, and yes, Hercules. For starters, he's able to catch and bring a hurtling planet to dead stop. And that planet was roughly the same size as the Earth. Then, during the incursion of his universe, Hyperion actually flew up there and held back the incursion from happening, essentially holding back two planets, stopping them from colliding by himself. But I gotta give the edge here to Hercules in terms of strength. I mean, he isn't known as the Prince of Power and the God of Strength for nothing. Hercules has held up collapsed mountains. He's pulled the island of Manhattan when it was moved by aliens, when Manhattan was split in half by World War Hulk. Well, it was Hercules that held it together. He's ripped apart Terminus's armor, says he can level mountains, and he's matched Jane Foster Thor in an arm wrestling competition. And when it arm wrestled the real Thor, they actually threw the planet out of orbit. Bruce Banner said that Hercules is one of the few people that could have beaten World War Hulk by themselves. When Thor and Herc punched together, it was said that they had enough power to shatter worlds, and Hercules has actually created enough energy to hold up the planet. And then he's even supported the weight of the heavens before, which is said to be an immeasurable and incalculable weight. Basically, Hyperion has a couple insanely impressive feats, but I don't think those two planet-level strength feats are enough to put him above Hercules and his 50 years full of planet-level feats. So what about durability? Well, Hyperion has tussled with the Hulk before and was perfectly fine afterwards. He's taken attacks from a blaze cannon that was capable of disintegrating people, a sonic cannon that could liquefy stone, and armor-piercing missiles. But most impressively, the guy's actually survived the destruction of two planets all around him, and possibly even the destruction of two universes. However, just like with strength, I would say that Hercules is more durable as well. He's unharmed by lava, fire, and molten rock, and all sorts of weapons like machine guns, spears, knives, and lasers just ricochet or shatter against his skin. But probably most impressive is his durability and resistance to blunt force attacks. Iron Man's strongest punches do absolutely nothing to him, and his called punches of Namor just a feeble tap. He's taken a massive beating from World War Hulk and was still conscious, even though Herc wasn't actively fighting back. He's taken attacks from Zeus, a Skyfather level being, and taken punches from the Beyonder of all people and Atlas, the bearer of the heavens. He's even fought Thor for an hour straight, was still willing to fight Hulk while he was only at half power and Hulk had already beaten him to a pulp, and Herc has actually walked through Gorgon's gaze before. However, with speed, well, Hyperion has a nice advantage here. For starters, he can fly, and that's just a nice advantage in and of itself. But Hyperion has also flown from Nevada all the way around the world to Sumatra and back just under a minute. And he's also dodged attacks from Namor, and was actually able to kill Namor before he even hit the ground. But even though Hyperion has an edge here in speed, Hercules has battled against faster guys before and shown he can still hold his own and even come out on top. For starters, he's tagged Spider-Man and even tagged Quicksilver. He's dodged blasts from the Destroyer, and even caught missiles out of the air. Probably most impressively, he's able to grab a speeding Sentry with a charging at him and toss Sentry aside. And if he can do it against Sentry, well, he can do it against Hyperion as well. Especially considering that others have regularly tagged Hyperion, and even got him while he's possessed and bloodlusted. But even with that being said, Hyperion is still faster by a large margin. He can fly, and he's got heat vision as well. His heat vision is supposedly as fast as light. He's actually used it to stagger an alternate version of Thor and knock back the Hulk, and has even decapitated Namor before. But if we're being honest, I'm not so sure that Hyperion's heat vision is going to be too effective against Hercules. He's taken heat attacks before and acted like nothing had happened. And the heat vision has also not been able to take down people like the Hulk. And you can argue that Hercules is just as durable as the Green Goliath. On top of that, Hercules' golden adamantine mace was actually used by Amadeus Cho as a capacitor to absorb all sorts of energy, because the divine metal is made from. So it's quite possible that Herc could just absorb Hyperion's heat vision as well. And Herc's mace is also just a huge advantage in his corner. I mean, for all intents and purposes, the mace is easily as strong and as durable as Thor's hammer Mjolnir. And that's really saying something. It's clashed with Mjolnir on several occasions and suffered no damage. And backed by Hercules' nearly incalculable strength, well, the golden mace can pretty much knock down any structure or obliterate any foe that stands in his way. Hyperion is definitely going to feel it when Hercules lands a good shot with that mace. On top of that, Hercules is a much, much better fighter. And he'll actually use that skill and technique in a fight, unlike other gods just like to brawl it out. Thor's actually admitted that Hercules is the better fighter than him. Hercules developed his own unique fighting style, he consistently uses wrestling moves when in a fight, and is even able to take down a thing with joint locks or choke out the Hulk with his legs. Hercules is actually such a skilled fighter that even while he was depowered, he was still able to hold his own against the master assassin Elektra. So, end of the day, who wins here? Well, Hyperion has definitely got some clear advantages. Speed, flight, heat vision, even his overwhelming physical strength and durability. But I think Hercules is ultimately going to be the last one standing here. For starters, people sometimes underestimate Herc because he doesn't have a whole lot of versatility. He doesn't really go all out in fights. But when the big guy is angry, well, not even Iron Man and Thor combined can hold him. Hercules also fought against people with more versatility than him on a routine basis and done remarkably well. I mean, the big guy's tussled with Sentry, Adam Warlock with the Soul Gem, and he's actually battled against Thor on multiple occasions and has always been able to hold his own or actually beat the God of Thunder, even though Thor is more versatile than him. End of the day, I'm just not sure that Hyperion has consistently shown enough power to beat someone like Hercules, while Herc has shown he's capable of beating someone like Hyperion. Hyperion just doesn't have enough to take down the Prince of Power. But that's alright, I mean, it is Hercules after all. Hercules wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sound off in the comments down below. Also, be sure, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on notifications, join the FanCo army, and I will see you next time.